to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you. Get 'em.
Do you know what time it is? Tell me, do you know? Do you know what time it is? Tell me, do you know? Do you know what time it is? Tell me, do you know? Do you know what time it is? Swizzy, hey, hey, I said come on, I said come on, I said come on, hey, talk. You getting money, homie? Show me if it's like that. You wanna grind and you know it's really like that. Dudes who snitch, nah, I don't really like that. I don't condone the bend the wall out. Switch, slow down the beat, it's all love. Slow motion for me, like it screwed up. Make it move like the Matrix and do was stuck in slugs. Bleak the black sheep, mommy, now pick it up. Hey,
welcome in. Happy Monday. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. And are you ready for your fly on the wall to everything that was trending this weekend across entertainment, culture, and a couple of real life moments that are going to have you asking questions in the group chat later. We're going to get into all of that. First up, happy birthday, Memphis Bleak. You know, Bleak's got a new podcast. I think it's on Nora's network, because Nora's launching a podcast network. I think that's where it is. But Bleak has a podcast. Everybody has a podcast.
Who's
you
Nora?
get a podcast. You get a podcast. Nori.
Oh, Nori. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Nori. I said Nor, but Nori. I know the difference. I don't know why. I just call him Nor. I don't know him. It's just how I feel. What? Anyway, all right, so get your snacks, get your drinks, because we have got some topics to get into tonight. We are talking Damion Hall. He feels that the legacy of Guy has been totally disrespected and overlooked. He says that other than two groups, Guy has been the most influential group in the last 30 to 40 years. We'll talk about it. We'll hear what he has to say. Yeah, I got questions. I don't know about that, but we'll get into it. We're also going to get into Gabrielle Union. You know, Gabby isn't afraid to express herself and open herself raw about the things that she is going through. And she talked about why she as an actress isn't able to jump into indie projects and passion projects like maybe she would like to. And a lot of that has to do with being a caregiver. So that is something that a lot of people are facing and looking at, you know, as their parents are getting older, the decisions that they have to make as far as their care and their health. So we'll talk about what Gabby had said and, you know, get into those details. And we're going to talk a little bit. I don't know if you've seen this buzzing on social media. Internet personality, I guess that's what you call her, B. Simone. She has a podcast. Everybody has a podcast. And she and one of her really good friends, maybe best friends, were having a conversation. And social media is saying that B. Simone is dead wrong for what she is doing to this particular friend. So we'll get your thoughts on that. But before we do, of course, we have a couple of conversation starters to get us going. So we could see jury deliberations begin as soon as the end of this week in the Diddy trial. The prosecution will likely rest their case tomorrow. And in a surprising move, Diddy's defense is not expected to call any witnesses at all. So They will discuss, I forget what the legal term is, but have discussion over what will be included in the jury instructions, the sheet that the jury will be given as far as the language that is in there. That will be hashed out on Wednesday. The jury will get some extended time off. Thursday, probably deliberations will start. Both the prosecution and defense will have 4 hours each to present their closing arguments. Not sure if I said that, but their closing arguments will start on Thursday. Again, 4 hours each. And then potentially by Friday, the jury could be handed their instructions. So we will find out the fate of one Sean Puffy, P. Diddy, John Love Combs soon enough, Andy.
So they had no witnesses.
They're not looking. They're not going to present any witnesses. Diddy is not taking the stand, and
is that a good look or a bad look on his end?
I don't really know. To be honest, I feel as though the prosecution has definitely proven RICO. Definitely. They've proven trafficking, but that can be slippery depending upon what the jury instructions are, because there are a lot of, texts back and forth asking for things. Domestic violence isn't on the table, but, could be considered coercion. I mean, there's just a lot of things. So we will see. It could go either way. But I think that definitely racketeering RICO has been proven.
I feel like Diddy and his team, they have conceded, it sounds like.
I mean, I think it's just touchy because also who you put on the stand, right? One lie, one slip up, they have access to all the text messages and things of that nature. It's like, who do you bring up to counteract these things? You can't bring KK up, right? You can't bring D-Rock up. That's the bodyguard. KK is his chief of staff. You can't bring his kids up, right?
Moms.
To say what?
I don't know. Defend me.
I mean, here's the thing. A lot of the witnesses that were presented said that they liked him and they liked his drive, but that he was not a nice person. Depends on how you feel about Jane Doe's testimony, whether you find her credible, whether it helped the defense. I mean, I think that it is a rough space, and we're going to see. But I think personally he's going to sit down for at least some of it. I don't know that he will get found guilty on all of the charges because it's a slippery slope with the trafficking and the prostitution. Although it's clear that it was happening, there are things that, depending upon the wording, could change how the jurors view it, So we will have to see. But that's it with that. Also, shout out to Paris. They got all the feels. They got Beyonce and Miley Cyrus on stage during the Cowboy Carter tour. And they got Jay-Z. He popped out. He performed Crazy in Love with B. He did N-Words in Paris solo. And, the U.S. is like, why are we missing out? Why we can't have no Jay-Z? What's going on with that, B?
We spoiled over here, that's why.
I mean, we are. Save your coins for Act 3. And lastly, shout out to actress Marla Gibbs. She is releasing a memoir, and it will hit the stores February 24th, 2026, right? Marla's 94 years old. You know her as Florence on The Jeffersons, Mary on 227. We love Florence. She's been in a lot of things. She owned Marla Gibbs Memory Lane and the Vision Theater right here in Leimert Park.
I was about to say, don't she live around the corner or something?
I believe, she's from the area. Marla's Memory Lane was a restaurant. It was right here, right by, I can't remember what's there now. Not that far from what's the taco spot that's never open that you got to wait a long time?
On Crenshaw?
No, right over here off of Leimert, and right in the cut is that, where Leimert and King meet Right over there.
The main spot right here on Lamar Park where everybody be hanging out at?
No, down the block. Like you go right here across. Forget it. Lamert and Vernon, and you go down. Forget it. I'm going to look it up on the break. When we come forward, we're going to get into these trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
During this time, it's important for everyone to know your rights. The 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments in the U.S. Constitution protects every one of us, regardless of immigration status. The 4th Amendment requires a judicial warrant to search your home. The 5th protects your right to remain silent, and the 6th gives you the right to an attorney. Just remember,
No warrant, no key. My privacy. You don't have to speak. No lawyer inside. Don't say a thing. Yeah, we all got rights.
Hey, we all got rights.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's.
The Parkinson's Foundation knows that the disease doesn't just affect the diagnosed. It affects everyone who supports and helps care for them.
If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers.
We can help you understand the disease
and give you tips for living a better life.
Find your answers at parkinson.org or call 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431, and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Shout out to Guy. You can call me crazy. Shout out to, what was his name? Timmy Gatling. That was one of the original members of Guy. Was Aaron, Timmy, and it was not Damion. It was Aaron, Timmy, and Teddy. God, how am I forgetting Teddy Riley, the whole orchestrator? So shout out to Guy. We're going to get into that. So listen, New Jack Swing was a moment, right? And without a doubt, Teddy Riley is the creator of New Jack Swing. You can attribute some of that as well to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, because they did some songs that kind of resembled it, and people will throw some of those in there. But by and large, we think of Teddy Riley when we think of New Jack Swing. And by extension, we think of Guy. So we're going to get into what Damion Hall had to say about Guy. But before we do, you know how this goes down. If at any point you want to get in the conversation, 800-920-1580. Call in. KBLA 1580. That's us on social media. I'm at Stiletto Jill. Hit us up in the YouTube chat. You know, they are already getting it in. Shout out to, what is it, Andy? Blessings? Abundant Blessings? No, Worldwide Tacos is the taco stand that I was thinking of. Peace and Blessings is who called in. Shout out to them to let me know it's Worldwide Tacos. Shout out to Forrest Harrison in the chat. Because, yeah, those tacos are good, but you definitely got to put your order in mad early to take in, you know, the deliciousness, or be prepared to wait for a minute. But anyway, back to, you know, Guy Aaron Hall. The year is 1988, right? Groove Me drops. It changed your life. Admit it. Well, Damion believes that Guy doesn't get enough credit. That they should be acknowledged as the most influential group in the last 30 years. Let's see what one Damion Hall exactly had to say.
There is no group better than Guy.
Flat out.
Period.
So hold on, OG. No group better than Guy.
Nope.
The Jacksons.
No, listen. Stop.
I'm just saying. I'm finna go down the logic.
Stop. No, stop. Listen. From when I came in to where we are.
Okay.
Again, two groups that will always be my everything.
Yeah. New Edition
and Tony.
Okay.
All these other groups.
So you're giving it to mint condition.
What? Okay, I'm gonna say one thing. Stokely's one of the dopest musicians on the planet. Chris, who played with him, if you ever saw them perform stage as musicians, they were incredible.
Yeah.
I say one thing to people when people ask me this question. It's not cocky, it's just real. Did we ever open up for them?
Oh my God.
No.
True.
What?
True.
True can flip, dance, do all that. When they came out, Spread My Wings. I love them all. They're
Spread
my
Wings, Mamacita.
They did all the things.
All I
like
do
this.
is think about
they did
you.
all that. Did we open up for True? You asked them.
Yeah.
Listen to me. I'm real with mine, bro.
Yeah.
Ask them.
Yeah.
When we go on who's that group. See, Teddy ain't even gonna say nothing.
Yeah.
Teddy be like, man, you know, I love everybody. I love everybody too.
Yeah.
I'm literally friends with all these guys.
Yeah. We talking music.
No, I'm friends.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah.
Please stop. You're not on our level, bro. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't care how great. Everybody got great songs, bro.
That's a fact.
And everybody got swag, and everybody got their audience. But I always say this, and I say, look, every now and again, it ain't always great to be the headliner. But I tell people this all the time. When we didn't headline, like really when we didn't headline, ask the groups what happened, bro.
Yeah.
No, this is real.
Yeah.
It's not me saying anything that's not real. Ask them what happened when we got off, and then what happened to the audience.
Yeah. What happened to the audience?
They started leaving.
Damn.
So, first of all, back in the day. I just saw Guy when they were on tour, the Legacy tour with New Edition, Keith Sweat. Somebody else was on there. I can't remember. Tank. I think it might have been one other act, but still perform, still get it in, right? But realistically, Guy only had 2 albums, right? And if we're not being funny, Damion, but you didn't even record anything on the first album. Although he says that he recorded a verse on, I think he said Piece of My Love or something, but they ended up just using Aaron all the way. Oh, by the way, he said the urban legend about Aaron saying Dumb B at the beginning is false, but it was a good rumor because, it made people interested. However, I mean, he made some other points on a clip from the other from the podcast that he was on. But the thing is this. 2 albums. Now, Teddy is the orchestrator of the sound. That's no doubt. Johnny Kemp, Keith Sweat's album, BBD's stuff. The list goes on, right? However, Guy as a group, though impactful and influential, really that run was really just 87, 88 to 91. And then, they started having the problems internally. And then Teddy left and bounced and was like, watch me do it again with Blackstreet. So, and pardon me if this is a disrespect to anyone, because I don't mean it as such, but you almost got to run the 2 groups together. Guy Blackstreet, right? You do. Because I know Blackstreet was their own thing, very much had some bops, some memorable moments. But what I'm saying is, without Teddy, that's the secret sauce. And he proved that I can make another one. And he did. So I stand by the Guy's an influential group, but I don't know do you have them in your top 10 of groups? I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were asking me for it.
I'm asking you personally. I'm asking everyone. I'm saying me personally, I don't know if I do. I'd have to sit and think about it. I love them.
I'm glad that you posed this question because, as you were speaking, I was thinking, I was like, yo, anytime we have music conversations, whether it's here on this platform, whether I'm, hanging out with my friends and, we thinking about the 90s and all that late 80s R&B or whatnot, I'm not going to lie. Even though groups were heavy when it came to R&B, Guy does not get brought up a lot. You hear a lot of Boys to Men. You hear a lot of Drew Hill, Jodeci, Jagged Edge. Hell, you hear 112. You hear more of them groups than you hear Guy. Even though, that was the quintessential R&B sound in the early 90s when you think about it. But when you think about the
technically,
groups,
no, they were late 80s.
Okay, late 80s.
I mean, but I think that has a lot to do with it, too, because people kind of don't know where to place them. And it was only 2 albums. Like I said, that second album that had Teddy's Jam 2 and I Want to Get With, I think it was I Want to Get With You. I believe that was the lead single from Guy, the Future album. That album didn't do too well. It did cool. I'm not saying that, but I don't know if it was bigger than the original Guy album. Also, something to consider, and I don't know if it even matters, but Guy didn't cross over. Now, not all of the groups we mentioned did, but Guy didn't cross over. And they were done by 92. Forrest Harrison in the chat asked, did Damion or Aaron write any of the music? I'm unsure. I'd have to go back and look at it. Maybe. We know Aaron had a brief solo career, and then R. Kelly came in and disrupted all of that. So, it's an interesting conversation, an interesting case to have, but an interesting case to put forward, but I don't know.
But he went ahead and disrespected the Jacksons, though, and said that they were better than him.
Listen, you don't pay attention to foolishness. The Jacksons are the Omega? The Alpha and the Omega? They're both. I believe. They are the the fruit. Well, not even the fruit. They are the foundation. They're the tree, the branches, the leaves, and the fruit from which all of this is born. You cannot talk about it. You can't talk about solo success because Jermaine, I believe, had a platinum album. Let's Get Serious was my jam. Don't Take It Personal, another jam. You know? I think didn't Jermaine date Whitney Houston for a minute? He was that guy. I mean, you know, Michael broke off, became the greatest entertainer ever. Came back to the Jacksons, threw them a bone, put out the, what was that, the 84 album. I mean, how can you ignore them? It's just, you can't. So that's just foolishness. Troop, nobody talks about Troop, really, but Troop is a bomb. Troop is like, you can't leave them out. I prefer their version of All I Do Is Think of You over the Jackson 5. Controversial as it may be, they killed that. Their choreography, stellar. But again, a moment that went quickly. When we come forward, we'll get more into the trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
No questions asked. Lay back and relax, girl. I know it's true. Now kick off the shoes. Lift up your head now. This we here now, baby. I'm giving you a piece of me you can have.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Bronx DA Darcel Clark and New York City leaders want changes to the Raise the Age law, saying it lets adults use teens to dodge serious gun charges.
The mentality on the street is that nothing happens to those under 18 who possesses or uses a gun.
The push follows a 208-count indictment tied to 12 Bronx shootings involving 19 gang members, including 9 teens. Chicago City Council will revisit the SNAP curfew ordinance next month after Black Mayor Brandon Johnson vetoed it. The measure would let police enforce a teen curfew with just 30 minutes notice. And Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is urging New Yorkers to stay safe as extreme heat pushes feels-like temps above 100 through Wednesday. He's especially concerned for seniors and those with health issues. Adams says to go out early or late when it's cooler and warns heat can trigger a rise in crime. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
A crash in Willowbrook on the 105 eastbound at Central, blocking the carpool lane. Delays loading up away from the 405. Also, downtown LA, a couple things shaken. This is a brush fire reported on the West 10 at the 110. And so a lot of action off to the shoulder. Watch for delays that are pushing back from just about the 5 freeway. Also downtown on the eastbound side of the 10 coming up on Grand. A crash has been cleared to the shoulder. It's on the Collector Road shoulder. Overall slowing out of Santa Monica, getting away from Centinela. And let's also head out to Irvine. We're looking at some slow traffic on the 5. This is northbound, crowding up from Jeffrey Road all the way to the 5722.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Kevin Durant trade to the Houston Rockets should send a chilling message to the Lakers and Clippers. Both teams have a lot of work to do in the offseason to keep pace in the Western Conference. Right now, there's at least 5 teams that are legitimate contenders to win the West. Oklahoma City, Minnesota, Denver, Dallas, and now Houston. Do not sleep on the Dallas Mavericks. They've got the number 1 pick in the draft Wednesday night. They're going to use it to select Duke forward Cooper Flagg. If Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving have a healthy season, the Mavericks could be the favorite to keep OKC from running it back. It will be imperative for the Lakers and Clippers to make significant changes to their roster. Otherwise, the Lakers and Clippers will start next season looking up at 5 teams that are much closer to winning an NBA championship. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. And I thank you, thank you.
Catch Prep is now enrolling for summer credit recovery in fall 2025. As South Los Angeles' top performing high school in English, math, and college access, Catch Prep is welcoming all 9th through 12th graders to enroll now. Catch Prep offers a small, supportive, and safe learning environment to help all students succeed, so that all students feel valued, respected, and motivated to reach their full potential. For the past 20 years, Catch Prep has helped more students of color gain admission to top-tier universities, with our graduating seniors earning a total of $3 million in scholarships, more than any other school in Los Angeles. We are dedicated to helping all students turn your college dreams into reality. Catch Prep is now enrolling. Visit us online at catchhighschool.com or call 323-293-3917. Space is limited. Please enroll now for summer credit recovery and fall 2025. Call 323-293-3917 or enroll today at catchhighschool.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text EQUAL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text EQUAL to 321-321. That's EQUAL to 321-321.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You were locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. And we just want to thank you for 4 years of holding us down here at KBLA Talk 1580. We have grown, and we thank you for being there, tapping in with us, trusting us to be your source on all things. And, you know, it's a warm, fuzzy family feeling going on. Andy.
I want to show my love to the community as well. Till this day, you know what I'm saying? We've been rocking for 4 years on air, but till this day, I get random phone calls about finding out about the station and how ecstatic they are that, oh man, I'm hearing Tavis Smiley on the radio. And then they start breaking down the whole timeline. They be like, oh, I've been listening to Dominique, oh, Jills, oh, Williams. So I just think it's dope that people are still finding out about it. So for those of you that are in the know, and if you know some people that don't know about it, please continue to spread the word. And that's it.
We appreciate that. All right, we're going to get into Amanda Seales in a second. We have a caller on the line, Eric from Carson. Welcome in, Eric. What's on your mind tonight?
Hey, Jill, before I ask my question, I just want to say real quick that I'm definitely a fan of KBLA. I happen to have been there from the beginning, and this show has blessed me in a lot of ways. So thank you to all of you for that. And I did some...
We appreciate you, Eric.
Thank you. And I did some research, and I came up with the biggest question in the Diddy trial is coercion versus consent. And I have a question for you. I could be a powerful person over some of the people in my world. Mm-hmm. And there are powerful people who may try to proposition, for lack of a better word, people who are less powerful in an intimate setting. So I want to ask you, do you think that just because a person consents to a request from a powerful person, that means that the powerful person is wrong?
I think that it is a slippery slope. And because oftentimes, right, we don't know. Are they doing it because they're fearful of your position and their job? Some might. Some might be like, hey, this is a good time. But in the moment, if it's just the two of you and later on something comes out, it's just not a smart move to make. There's lots of office romances. There's lots of people that have met people on the job, gotten involved with the boss, used it as a stepping stone, were intimidated by such and ended up in an unfortunate situation. But that line is so fine that for me, it's just one of those things that is really, really complicated and should be avoided just because you don't know what happens. Right? What does this person look like when they're heartbroken? Have you lost touch as a boss that what you deem as just flirting? Can you put yourself in their situation and understand why that might make them uncomfortable or unsure what move to make? You know, I think that, again, you may think that the conversation is all kicks and giggles and fun and lighthearted, and they might be going through heart palpitations because they don't know if this is going to impact their ability to sustain their life. So, you know, adults do what adults do, but I think that it's cleaner not to cross that barrier. Andy, you look like you had some. Oh, you were just thinking?
Nah. Just it got me thinking about Joy Taylor. You talk about how it's a slippery slope, right?
Right.
And the way, you know, Eric posed this question, it's insinuating, and correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, it's as if like the person of power, essentially you're manipulating. You're manipulating, and I can understand, you know, the less than individual feeling like, man, this is an opportunity to make money. I don't want to, you know, ruffle any feathers, so I'm gonna go ahead and acquiesce, right? But then you have somebody like a Joy Taylor who kind of knows what's up, and she's like, you know, I'm gonna capitalize on it, and it just has, you know, the whole slippery slope thing. Like, so in that same scenario, to Eric's point, is that I guess a good question or whatever? Is that something to offer?
What do you mean? Is it something to
elevation, right? That's what we're talking about, right?
Here's the thing. I think you're talking about elevation, or are you just talking about in
Career
general?
advancement.
Are you, Eric, in general, talking about just dating on the job?
I'm talking in general, and I've learned something from just asking you this question. I'm going to stick with what my mother has always said. From a spiritual perspective, you need to be equally yoked with whoever you associate with. Then you don't have any problems.
I mean, likely, yeah. That is true. Thanks for calling, Eric. We always appreciate you. So let's get into really quick what Amanda Seales had to say, because it's like, girl, I like Amanda Seales for the most part. I think she is smart. I appreciate her hustle and her drive. You said that, not me. But sometimes I do think that she is an echo chamber all of her own. And sometimes I know she reads, but I don't know if she reads. I don't know. It's just complicated. Everybody has their own opinions, but girl, Kamala ain't involved in this right now. Why are you bringing her up? Let's listen to what she had to say.
Okay, so these are the people I'm going to block. Anyone in here who's speaking definitively, like, we know Kamala wouldn't have bombed Iran. I don't even understand how you can make such a statement. I don't understand how what is it about this woman that she has shown you that makes you think that she is like some peaceful, like, namaste, like, auntie? What is it about her? She's taking photos with cops, calling herself a top cop. She's married to a Zionist. When she ran on her campaign, she said, I'm going to be just like Joe Biden. She literally, in her DNC speech, said that she will make sure America remains the most lethal military. She, in her interview on ABC, absolutely said Iran is our biggest enemy. I don't know, like, does it just make you feel, I don't know, understand what that does for you. I don't know anybody in the Bay that gets down with Kamala. Not one person. So I think that's more of a projection of what you would like. You and the one that called her Mamala, what's her name?
So I'll just say this. We're going to keep it brief. If you think that Kamala would do what Obama and Biden did before her, right? They didn't bomb Iran. I also think that you got to look at context matters. And there is no context to the current situation that we found ourselves in. So you can't say that she would have. You can't be so sure. You can't back up a lot of the claims that you were making. You know, I just don't understand the point at this point. We're at where we're at, and she don't have anything to do with this at all. She's at home. Andy?
You just got to be wary of your elected officials.
I do. I believe that.
So
I mean, I don't think that there's absolutes. You have to vet things. You know, you don't 100% trust everybody in your family. So how are you going to 100% trust a stranger? But you do have to look at the real truth about what she has and has not done and take a fair consideration at that. And you also have to consider, you still think that she would have been equally as bad for us as what has happened in the last 6 months with Trump? I know you don't think that. So, yeah.
Here's the thing. And I'm being objective, right?
Okay.
You have somebody like a Trump who, for the most part, will tell you what it is to your face. So you're not questioning what his stance are.
But I think
for those in the other party,
I think
it's
Trump,
a political game.
Yeah, but I think Trump plays games with language and words too. He just says obnoxious stuff when he plays, but
I don't
It's
think
complicated.
there's not much deception coming from Trump. He will follow the waves wherever which way it goes, which is also not good, right? But at least even him following whatever wave,
he makes it plain and clear.
He makes
for
it
you.
plain and clear, as opposed to others on the other party. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna make it seem like they're for the people, but then they start doing things that I'm not gonna get into details or whatnot. But statistics show when we talk about mass deportations, some of our beloved individuals did it more than the current. But who knows? It's just starting. I'm not going to get into details. I stand to be corrected, by the way.
It's a lot happening there. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into Gabrielle Union. She discussed the very real sacrifices that she is making, even as a highly paid actress. Yes, with a multimillionaire former NBA husband, to take care of her father who has developed dementia. We'll get into all of that on the other side. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
During this time, it's important for everyone to know your rights. The 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments in the U.S. Constitution protects every one of us, regardless of immigration status. The 4th Amendment requires a judicial warrant to search your home. The 5th protects your right to remain silent. And the 6th gives you the right to an attorney. Just remember,
No warrant, no key. My privacy. You don't have to speak. No lawyer inside. Don't say a thing. Yeah, we all got rights.
Hey, we all got rights.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431, and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has WorkSource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Shout out to the chat. Morris Phillips says, I'm a graduate of the University of KBLA. Dr. Cornell West, Tavis Smiley, Dominique Zoe Williams, Dr. Q, Jesse Jackson Jr., and Jill Munroe for my elective. Appreciate you. Fahima says, I often tell my friends on the East Coast about KBLA. Additionally, I've introduced many of my friends from X to the station as well. So we appreciate you guys. That's how community is built. Keep sharing and spreading the love. We so very, very appreciate it. Now let's get into Gabrielle Union. We've heard Gabrielle Union talk about money, talk about taking care of her parents, her adoptive sisters, just a lot of family obligations that are on her plate. And we know famously about the 50-50 conversation, and people are like, well, what point is it in being married to a millionaire if he's not helping you out? And he don't like her. Because why is he making her pay for her family stuff? I think part of that we've heard is a response, Gabrielle, to trauma. Dwayne does help her, but he also lets her take care of the things that she feels are her responsibility, And I think these are conversations that you have to have in a relationship as a couple, and it only really has to make sense to the two of you. I know money is a touchy subject, but she's not over there struggling. D-Wade does help. Let's clear that up. But she talked about not being able to always pick passion projects or indie projects because she has to go for the dough. We have seen a lot of celebrity checks and public figures and internet personalities where the money wasn't moneying like the expectation was, right? And whether that's because they're trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to keep up a certain image, or that's just the reality of such, people have to make choices. And so Gabby shared that her father, he was placed in a memory care due to dementia in 2023. And even with all the success, says she often has to turn down these projects because she has to prioritize these high-paying roles because she has to cover the family needs. She says, I don't have the luxury of taking indie films. I have to support my extended family in the way that they have become accustomed to. So, a reminder to everyone that even stars sometimes have to have 11 jobs, right, to make things do what it do. But also that the very real conversation about our aging community and the children that are responsible for taking that on, even if you aren't, especially, I guess is a better word to say, a celebrity like Gabrielle with a much larger disposable income. It is a very real fact that you might have to be responsible for your elders and their care in the latter years, especially as we continue to see benefits being cut. And let me tell you, even if you have health care insurance, long-term health care, more likely than not, is not included in that. And it is expensive. So, shout out to Gabrielle for doing what she has to do. But if you haven't started having those conversations within your family and you have an elder that you care about that you could potentially be responsible for in their latter years, talk about those plans. Talk about what's in place. Talk about what they want to do and how it will be funded. Because if you wait till you're in it, it can be extremely nerve-wracking. Okay, so I don't really know if we have time to play this clip. I think it's a little lengthy, but no, it's short. Okay, well, we're going to get into this because B. Simone, once again, has the internet in a tizzy. Social media is mad, saying she is not a good friend, while some are saying she is just extending boundaries and dealing in accountability. Let's take a quick listen.
Being a best friend with a celebrity, everybody thinks that, because you're connected to this person, then your life is just as grand as theirs, or you got it, or they helping you. Baby, didn't have a job, living with my parents, a single mom. All this happened to me this past year. Jesus. And then it's like to not have resentment in my heart towards you because I saw you do this for other people. I saw you give a check to somebody to help them through whatever they went through. And it's like, God, nobody didn't give me a handout, but guess what? That wasn't your responsibility. God had to take me through that for my own season, for my own thing. I had to get my car repossessed. Jesus. I had to go through the food stamps line. I had to be on Medicaid because I'm building my story too. But it's like, as a friend somebody who has it, it's hard to digest. They're probably shocked that I'm even saying this right now.
So let me make some clarity here. The person speaking was B. Simone's best friend. The person interjecting with the Jesus, like all that was happening, That's B. Simone. And some people are offended because they're saying, what kind of friend are you to allow your friend to go through that much suffering? Not saying that you had to fully take care of her, but to not help that friend out in any capacity seems rather cruel. It is an interesting proposition. I think that they are both. I watched a little bit beyond that clip, working on themselves. I think sometimes B. Simone's language throws people off, the words that she chooses to express herself and her thoughts, because, we are as individuals supposed to be responsible for ourselves and to not have the expectation that a friend or someone else is going to come in and rescue us. However, having good friends that have the means, you should want to help your friend. Right? And sometimes there are instances where you're like, that friend is being irresponsible. I am not going to help that friend. All of those things. But it kind of didn't seem like that. So I'll just say we'll leave that to the two friends. But B. Simone might want to think about, maybe extending a little more grace in her friendships. Maybe, perhaps, maybe. Listen, that is my time. Thank you so much for clocking in. As always, every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. and on weekends if you're nasty. Coming up next is the voice of reason, Zoe Williams. I'll tap in with you guys tomorrow.
What else can I do? Don't you hear my plea? Friends may come and friends may go, but you should know that I've got your back. It's automatic, so never hesitate to call. 'Cause I'm your sister and always for you. And don't know what I'd ever do without you from the beginning to the end. I've always been here with you.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. According to CNN, President Trump has announced a temporary ceasefire between Israel and Iran. He says both countries agreed to a complete and total 12-hour ceasefire to wrap up final missions. Trump added that once the pause begins, the war will be considered over, though it's unclear if the truce will hold long term. Azalea Banks is sparking backlash after